Some archaeological finds are like riddles, and perhaps because they are the subject of many interesting theories, they have a side that fascinates people. It should be emphasized that it is impossible to explain any of the archaeological findings with aliens or supernatural powers. However, archaeology, a relatively new science, has not yet answered everything, and there are still many questions that need to be answered, and that may never be answered. The archaeological findings in this list are quite remarkable in that they still remain a mystery, even though they do not contain any alien theory. Here are 10 archaeological finds that may interest you. 1. Stonehenge. Known as Stonehenge, one of the most famous monuments in the world, this prehistoric monument was built between 300 to 1500 BC in 5 phases. At first it consisted of a small circle of obelisks made of dolerite stones brought from Wales. The inner obelisk circle we see today was later built with huge obelisks. These megalithic stones were lined up about 5,000 years ago, and this is a pretty impressive feat for the primitive people who built it. But archaeologists are sure of only this information. None of the theories that attempt to establish Stonehenge's original purpose, ranging from an astronomical observatory to a religious healing temple and a cremated human cemetery, have been clarified until now. 2. Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant, according to the Torah, is a wooden chest covered with gold containing stone tablets on which the 10 Commandments are written. In ancient times this sacred box was kept in the First Temple, a Jewish place of worship in Jerusalem. But the first temple, according to the Hebrew Bible, was King John II. It was destroyed in 587 by a Babylonian army led by Nebuchadnezzar. Although many people have gone there to look for the Ark of the Covenant since then, absolutely no one knows what happened to it. So far, no one has found the Holy Ark. Some ancient reports say that Nebuchadnezzar took the Ark to Babylon after sacking the city. Others say the Ark was buried somewhere in Jerusalem or destroyed along with the First Temple. Modern reports indicate that the Ark was in a monastery in Ethiopia. And a recently translated ancient Hebrew text states that the Ark of the Covenant will appear on its own, but not until the day when the Messiah, son of David, comes. 3. Noah's Ark. Some things are so interesting that they are discovered over and over again, for example, Noah's Ark. This sacred vessel has been discovered many times, or has it been discovered by many people? For centuries, amateur archaeologists from around the world claim to have found evidence of the ship in and around Mount Ararat. But other researchers doubt whether Noah's huge ark was actually built. Like Atlantis, Noah's Ark is an archaeological mystery that will continue to be solved over and over again, despite the possibility that it never existed. 4. Atlantis. The lost city of Atlantis, which is claimed to be in the Bahamas, Greek islands, Cuba and even Japan, was first mentioned by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato in 360 BC. This mythological island is thought to have been a major naval power before it sank to the bottom of the sea as a result of a disaster 10,000 years ago. As well as archaeologists questioning the true historical existence of Atlantis, they also discuss its most plausible possible location among the sunken remains discovered around the world. But without conclusive evidence, Atlantis, like other archaeological secrets, continues to preoccupy the popular imagination. 5. Tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. In 1974, farmers in the Shaanxi region accidentally uncovered one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century, Emperor Qin Shi Huang's life-size terracotta army. These figures are no secret. Historians know that this clay army was created to defend China's first emperor in the afterlife. What remains unknown is where the emperor was buried and the treasures the burial chamber might contain. There is a pyramid-shaped mausoleum located 1.6 kilometers northeast of the terracotta army. However, no one has yet entered this mausoleum containing Qin Shi Huang's remains. This final resting place of the first emperor is the most ostentatious tomb ever built in China, as the ancient documents describing its construction indicate. Complete with the kingdom around it, this underground palace consists of a network of caves and includes an advanced drainage system. Until archaeologists have the technology to safely excavate the tomb, this tomb and its treasures will remain a mystery. 6. Nazca Lines. It is impossible not to feel incredibly excited when viewed from above, the Nazca Lines, which do not mean much when viewed from the ground. Archaeologists believe these lines, first noticed by commercial planes passing through the region between 1920 and 1930, belong to the pre-Inca Nazca culture more than 2,000 years ago, with aerial views ranging from geometric lines to complex depictions of animals, plants and imaginary figures. However, it is still unknown what exactly these lines were made for. Some of the ideas that have been put forward are that they were made for the ancient pilgrimage route or ancient astrology. However, archaeologists note that these lines are more likely to be a form of ritualistic communication with the Nazca deities. 7. Genghis Khan's tomb. The tomb of Genghis Khan, which is believed to contain treasures from all over the Mongol Empire, cannot be found even after 800 years. Genghis Khan once ruled the lands between the Pacific Ocean and the Caspian Sea. When he died, he wanted his funeral to be kept secret. The mourning army killed everyone who stood in their way while carrying the corpse, and after Genghis Khan was buried, 1,000 horses were driven around the tomb in order to lose track of it. No one has been able to reach his grave for 800 years after his death. Genghis Khan believed that the Huns were the ancestors of the Mongols. Therefore, his tomb could be similar to theirs. Hun kings were buried in wooden partitions at a depth of 20 meters, and square stones were placed on the ground. However, a Hun-style tomb is a little difficult to find. The stones on the grave may have been removed. Considering the vastness of Mongolia, it is almost impossible to find a tomb 20 meters deep. 8. Gobekli Tepe. From about 8000 BC, humans first settled in permanent settlements, practiced agriculture, and later built temples. Was it really like that? An incredible archaeological discovery made in 1994 at Gobekli Tepe in Sanliurfa overturned this hypothesis, raising new questions about the evolution of civilization. Experts previously thought that monumental sites were created as a result of hunter-gatherer settlement and farming. However, Gobekli Tepe, which was built by hunter-gatherers before agriculture, overturned this whole system of thought. Evidence unearthed during excavations at 12,000-year-old Gobekli Tepe supports Schmidt's theory, which argues that the invention of agriculture was triggered by the onset of civilization. In the middle of each monumental structure are two T-shaped columns with stylized carvings of arms, hands, and loincloths. The weight of the largest exceeds 16 tons. Hewing these stones and transporting them from the nearby quarry requires rigorous organization, requiring large numbers of people and enough food to feed them all. No evidence of a settled life of these people has been found in the excavations carried out here so far. Therefore, Gobekli Tepe is thought to be a periodical gathering and feasting place. 9. Cleopatra's tomb. 7. Who ruled Egypt between 51 and 30 BC? Cleopatra was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Much is known about her intelligence, beauty, and romantic relationships, but her burial place remains a mystery. Cleopatra and Mark Antony committed suicide together when they were defeated by their former ally Octavian during the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. And the two were buried in an area near a temple of the Egyptian goddess Isis, which the writer Plutarch called a sublime and beautiful monument. But the exact location of the tomb is still a mystery. According to archaeologists, even if the lovers' tombs are found, it is highly likely that the tomb will be empty, as tomb robbery was not uncommon in ancient times. 10. Superhenge. Another mysterious structure is the Superhenge, a large stone monument located just 3.2 kilometers from Stonehenge in the UK. This massive monument of stone monoliths was unearthed in 2015. Its monoliths were found on the edge of Donington walls. Researchers think this Superhenge is probably part of a larger Neolithic monument. Archaeologists are unsure of the original purpose of the stones, but they believe these 4.5 m long slabs once stood upright before they fell over 4,500 years ago. The giant monument is located in a natural depression site near the river Avon, and the stones are thought to have helped form a C-shaped arena where springs once descended into the valley and river.